Hi there, and welcome to Quick Tips for Online Teaching. I'm your host, Jenna Camp, and today we're talking about instructing introverts. During a whole school Zoom session focused on mental health last week, many of our scholars self-identified as introverts. This got me to wondering, what are the qualities of an introvert and what am I doing in my classroom that can help them? Or maybe things that I'm doing that are not helping them. So I did some research. Of course, I went to the good old World Wide Web and I found quietrev.com. Turns out this is connected to Susan Cain's work. She's the author of Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. This was a New York Times bestseller a couple of years ago, and she's done multiple TED Talks on this idea of how introverts have so much to offer the world, but we don't value their rich inner lives. In fact, we tend to think of introverts as shy, quiet, without a lot to say. That's not necessarily the case. So together with Heidi Kasevich, the director of Quiet Education, again at quietrev.com, this whole Quiet Schools network has a lot to teach us about how to better assist the introverts in our classrooms. Many introverts like writing over talking. They like time to mull things over, to let stew in their brains the concepts that teachers are talking about and trying to get through. They like working or thinking alone before sharing their conclusions or sharing their thought processes. When they have to work collaboratively with others, working with one partner is oftentimes preferred, or in a small group, especially with students that they're already familiar with, already know well. And one-on-one time with teacher, again, in a private setting, not necessarily publicly in front of the whole classroom, these are very valued by many introvert students. So when we're planning our instruction, there are a number of things we can consider doing in order to help our introverts and to help the others in our classroom feel like they are in a safe space where they can learn best. Here are some key takeaways that I learned from my research this week. Previewing agendas, not just the agenda for the day, but maybe talk about the agenda for the week or for the month or for the whole unit or the whole project, allowing all scholars the opportunity to see what's coming down the line when they have presentations or public exhibitions or group work that they have to be a part of, letting them know that in advance helps them feel more comfortable and helps them meet the expectations that we set for them. This is also a good strategy for students with IEPs and for our English learners. And of course, providing multiple ways to engage and honoring each of these multiple ways to engage, honoring them and respecting them with the same point system for each, whether a student chooses to engage by writing something in the chat box to you, the teacher, or to everyone, opening up his or her mic, or maybe providing images along with text or perhaps an email to you later. There are lots of different ways that you can engage with scholars and allow them to engage with you. Even offering a chance to engage with you later during office hours instead of having to engage right there at that moment in class. Maybe that introvert needs more time to process. Maybe that's a student with an IEP and a processing disorder who needs more time to process as well. Being able to share with you what they have learned in office hours an hour after class might be just the trick that they need to learn what you want them to learn. And increasing wait time. Again, 3 seconds isn't really a long time to mull over and to process a brand new concept, especially for those who like to consider a lot of different viewpoints or who have expressive language they're trying to get out or translate. So this increased wait time is good for introverts. It's good for students with IEPs. It's good for our ELs. In other words, it's good teaching. Quiet reflection. 1-minute papers. You can do this through Pear Deck, and you can just look at the answers on your own. You can do this in the actual classroom when you're one-on-one, have students in their notes, just do a 1-minute paper. You can time it 1 minute. They can write something down. They can doodle, they can draw, they can do a bulleted list, any kind of way to get them to reflect on something you've just taught before you continue. It's a little pause. It's like a rest area along the highway for them to stop, pause, think about what they've learned, process that a little, and then move on. And finally, when you have to do group collaboration, when you make those choices, and those are excellent choices to make as teachers, having those group norms and using group roles are also really important to help establish who's going to do what. It helps introverts feel comfortable because they know what's expected of them and they know how they can meet those expectations. Brainwriting, which is a particular way of doing brainstorming for collaborative groups, is also a really useful strategy for introverts. I'm going to go into brainwriting in the next quick tips. So thank you for joining me for this quick tips for online teaching. For more, check out www.jennacamp.com or find me on Facebook or Instagram at Jenna Camp Educational. Thanks so much. Bye.